Making marshmallows. So we baled this field here today, this morning. TJ was out here, this one here, and he's in the process of baling the other big one beyond the brush over there. We had mowed the 2 end fields up that way, just beyond this brush line here. Last week, we were supposed to have, supposed to not rain all week, and of course the weather guy was wrong. We had a freak shower come in, dumped on all the hay we had cut. And then we went to go ted it, and the tedder broke, of course, so it got rained on again. And then went to go bale up what we had just to get it off the field, and the baler quit. So it ended up being one of the rollers in the tensioner, or sorry, one of the bearings in the tensioner roller let go. So we had to replace the bearings in that. He got it all put together a couple days ago. We're baling today. This is not our wrapper. Our wrapper is also busted. This is Escobar's. So borrowing theirs, I had to help them finish up baling earlier today so I could take this. But for those who don't know, the whole reason behind wrapping the bales is so that it allows prevents oxygen from getting into the bale. That way there it can ferment. It'll make a better quality feed. So the plastic's not real cheap, unfortunately, but you can upcharge the bales for being silage bales. So I got the baler. It's a Kuhn RW1600. Got it hooked up to the Oliver. Wrap this thing here. Been doing 20 wraps. Plastic. I gotta make a mount for this. I've been holding it. It really sucks. Of course. I wasn't even watching the plastic. Oh, it works out, I guess. So we get another roll and put fuel in this thing. But yeah, we do 20 wraps. We went a little light last year and the bales came out a little funky. They were all right, but not what it should have been. This hay here, we were talking, it's pretty weedy. The grass that we planted, that Timothy and Orchard, is coming up in spots, but not like it should be. The weeds kind of choked it out. So what we're probably gonna do, we want to get all the weeds off anyway. That way they're, you know, they're annual weeds. That way there, it doesn't go to seed, doesn't come back up next year. But the plan is, I think we're gonna have, there's a guy in Westport that has a no-till drill. We might hire him to come out and just no-till in some Timothy and Orchard, probably in the fall. So, but we got 40 bales in this field here, and the other field's a little bit smaller than this one, so I don't know how many we're gonna get off of that one. And it's a little bit thicker too, so might get a little more. But TJ's baling over there. I guess I'll go take a quick video of him while back to the truck so I can get some plastic. So it's just about 6 o'clock here. I finally finished up this first field. I think I said we got like 40 bales out of it. So luckily Escobar's had a couple rolls in the garage there, so I grabbed 2 of them. So we should have enough to finish up both fields. Unfortunately, it's, like I said, 6 o'clock, so it's gonna be getting dark pretty soon. I think we got like an hour and a half left of daylight, which means I got a boogie to get into the other field. TJ's still baling over there. See how many of those we can get finished up. We got rain coming tomorrow, of course, so I'm gonna get as many baled off as we can. I think TJ was saying he might go into work a little late tomorrow and just wrap up whatever we can't get today. So, but we got more out of this field than I thought we were gonna. I mean, granted, it was real tall looking, but I mean, if you look, I guess down here is not real good. You can see there's a lot of space in between each plant, I guess you'd call it, piece of grass, I don't know, whatever. So, like the field up top that we mowed last week, that looked real thick too, and then you go to, and the windrow is not much there. We were gonna have to rake a couple windrows for the baler to pick it up, but that wasn't the case with these 2 fields here, luckily. So I'm gonna get after it, and we'll get into the next field. Oh, we're in the second field here. It's probably close to 8 o'clock at night. TJ's over there. He's got like 1 windrow left. He's having problems with hay wrapping around the roller. I think he's on like stop number 7, trying to unwrap the friggin' rollers. This ground here didn't cut real well. Still, you can see a bunch of, you know, holidays grass sticking up there. The problem is you run the baler over it and it just tries to pick it up, and instead of picking up the windrow, it's trying to rip the grass out of the ground that's still there. My boss told him I was going to take a sick day tomorrow. We got rain coming, of course, and give her a little more throttle there. We got rain coming tomorrow. I got close to 30 bales still on the ground. That's not including what he's baling right now. And so I'd like to get all this done before the rain hits tomorrow. I got my trailer down here because I went to go pick a chopper up for a guy yesterday in Pennsylvania. So I'd like to bring my Alice home too. That's still sitting down in the cornfield there. But I ain't doing that tonight, so if I got the trailer down here, I'm staying tomorrow. It'll work out. Got left. I thought that was the last windrow there. which is pretty much where you want it for silage bales. That's it. Yeah, what are the odds of that? I'm recording it twice. Twice I've recorded and I lost. That was kind of the roll. I got another roll in the truck, so I'll swap that out, but this is probably gonna be the last video I take for tonight, I think. So I'm gonna swap that out real quick. We'll see what else happens. All right, so next day, obviously I slept at my parents' house last night, so I didn't have to drive back out from to Connecticut and back this morning. Still a little bit of dew on the ground. It's like 7:30 in the morning, but the fenders on the tractor were, it's really not even that much. The fenders on the tractor were dry, so I figured a good chunk of the dew dried off. There's no dew on these bales, so I'm not really that worried about wrapping them. So I got 27 bales I just counted off that I'm gonna have to wrap before we get the rain at noon. So I got a couple hours. Just tracking the tractor over. It's low on hydraulic oil, so I'm probably gonna go get some of that. I threw 5 gallons of gas in it last night because I almost ran out. I should probably go get another couple gallons throw in there just to be safe. All right, so everything's greased up. Just went down to Napa, grabbed some hydraulic oil for this thing, threw another 5 gallons of gas in it, greased it. So she's ready to rip. What I should have done though is grabbed a set of vice grips and went by my parents' house to secure that a little better, because it's kind of a pain in the ass trying to hold it while you're running the tractor. So if you notice, I think I was talking about this last night too, these fields did not want to cut right. It was just like, it's almost, I wasn't mowing it, so I don't know what happened for sure, but it looks like the canvas in front of the discs, we're just kind of pushing this over, so this never got cut all the way down. But it's all that stocky stuff, all the stocky weeds. And what's kind of screwing us is that as he goes along, if he's got a windrow along this, the pickup on the baler is trying to grab all this long stuff and rip it out of the ground. There's a couple spots over that way where there's just like bare patches of dirt because it ripped the grass right out of the ground. So, like I said, I'm hoping that by cutting all this off before it went to seed, it won't come back up next year. We'll have a good stand of grass. Because we were really hoping to make some high quality horse hay out of this stuff, but this ain't the stuff we're gonna be doing it with. So hopefully this doesn't come back up next year and the Timothy and Orchard will kind of take over. And then, like I was saying too, I think we're gonna have these fields no-till drilled. But I mean, this stuff will make good cow hay. Pretty dense bale, so that's good to know. But we'll get after it. if that'll settle down there. There we go. Not gonna lie to you, I lost count on this one. This is how I'm trying to control this thing. It's right in my lap, joystick, so it's not. If this was our machine and was dedicated on this tractor, I'd screw some holes in the fender for it. But I'm not doing that, and I forgot to grab the vice grips. Oh, don't have a set in the toolbox, right? No. Forgot to grab the vice grips for this when I went by my parents' house, so now I'm kind of forced to do this, but that's how she goes. Grab the next one here. Pull right up alongside it, but you gotta kind of, if you go too far over one way, like I think I'm about to, yeah, that outside fork will hit it, and then you can't get it. I do this all the time. It's a pain in the ass. And you gotta back off, line yourself up again. But now it's kind of turned over, so you kind of gotta play with it a little. Yep, again. It's like once you hit it, you're screwed. That's like the one thing I like about our 3-point hitch wrapper is you just back right up to it. Another thing too is when you load this fork, you want to make sure it's all the way to the back, because if it's not, what'll happen is you'll dump it on this front roller right here, and then once you do that, the end of the bale will go in between those the belts. It'll never roll right. You gotta dump it and reload it. Try this again. Probably helped up the fork all the way on the ground though. Perfect. Give her a little go juice. lose the count of the wraps. There's actually a counter right there dangling. You probably can't see it. There's a counter for this. You're supposed to mount on the fender of the tractor. That way there, you can roll across the field and wrap and not be looking behind you. Just look at the fender out front, and then it makes it a lot easier to wrap one while you're loading. But I think they used that counter for the first like maybe 2 years, and then they lost the harness for it and everything else. That's kind of how it goes over there. So. Get the camera down so I can finish doing all these bales here. I got probably half the field left, so probably like 20 or so, I'd say, something like that. So, rain got pushed off till 1, so I got an extra hour according to the weather guys, but they all said we weren't getting rain the other day, and everything we caught got rained on, so. Yep. There's, what, 1, 2, 3 bales left, and of course I ran out of plastic. So I just ran out to Escobar's. They had this like half-ass, I don't know, like a 1/8 of a roll sitting over there in the garage, so I grabbed that. Throw this on here. Oh. Drop it. It's basically, this sits in there just like that. Let's see if I do this with one hand. This piece right here clamps down, and then this is all janky. I have to cut all this off, but this will feed around this roller back through there and then come out around this one, and then it gets hooked into the holder. Alright, I'm gonna have to cut all this back, so bear with me here. Alright, so I cut all this back, so now what I gotta do is grab my screwdriver. I got my toolbox here. And I gotta pry this ratcheting arm out so that I can catch the plastic next time I dump the bale. That actually might be far. Pry that out a little bit, and then usually you can just pull this right out. You gotta watch out though, because there's a razor blade right here. That's what they used to cut the plastic. There we go. Just like that. So take this. You gotta hope it doesn't stretch and rip like that. Which, for whatever reason, like the rolls at Escobar's, they seem to always sit around for like a year on the wet barn floor. So when you go to pull them out, you're always fighting with them the first couple bales. But, so then what I'm gonna do is wrap this around there, like that. Just basically make sure it's not gonna come off for the first one. Something like that, I guess. And then we should be good to go. Like I said, I got 3 bales left, so we'll be out of here pretty quick. It's 10 o'clock maybe. So definitely had a schedule. I think the plan, since I'm down here anyway, and I'm not working today, I'm going to probably go get my trailer sitting at my parents' house. Go grab that, throw my little D15 on it that's sitting over in the cornfield right now. Take that back to TJ's, unhook the cultivators off of that, drop that at his place because those are his cultivators. Go back to my parents' house, drop the trailer. I got to run down to the bank, and then I got to get a list together of all the stuff I got to order for the combine. So I'm going to go through that, figure out what I need, and it's got a blown brake line in it. I went to go move it. It was right before July 4th to get it out of the way for the fireworks they do there, and brake pedal went right to the floor. So because I got that cornfield, you know, it's a bit of a drive away from the farm where I keep the combine. Gotta have good brakes. So I'm gonna have my dad come out. He's home today, and I'll have him pump the brakes for me so I can see where it's leaking from, and then we'll get that fixed. I don't know if I'm gonna get a whole new brake line or if I can just put like a compression fitting in there. You're not supposed to use them on brake lines, but for the amount of road travel that thing sees, it's probably okay. But maybe we'll get some footage of that or something. I don't know, but let's get this taken care of first before we do anything else. So, all right, so we're pretty much done. There's one bale way out there that, see if I can get a better shot of it. Maybe. I had tried to wrap, and just the weird shape of it, it just wasn't working. I had a hell of a time just getting it in the friggin' loading fork. So I said screw it, left that one there. This here is just the half a bale that was in the chamber. I had thought about wrapping it, but it's not even net wrapped, so I'm not gonna bother. You know, TJ can throw this off to his goats or something. But this is the hay we're dealing with here. And actually, you know, looking at this, yeah, there's some weeds in it, but there's actually more Timothy and orchard in here than I thought there would be. So that's good. So yeah, we're all set here. I think the plan is maybe sometime this week. We got to flip the bales up on end. I'm not totally sure why. That's what my boss had told me when we first got the wrappers. The bales have to be on end. They can't be on their side like this. The only thing I can think of is I think as the bale ferments, the sugars and everything else that are in there, it kind of, or maybe it's the moisture that's in there, settles to the bottom, and you're gonna ruin more layers with it sitting like that than you would if it was up on the end. Something like that. I don't know. I'm gonna go with that. So we got to flip these bales up, and then we're probably gonna come in with TJ skid steer. He's got a bale grabber on it, and there's what, 82 bales in here. Call it 81 with that one there. Will get, you know, tossed off or something. So 81 bales, and they don't want them sitting here. We might kick them off in that little field over there just to store them temporarily, and then bring them all over to TJ's. We had 40 bales stored over there last year, and I thought there was enough room for twice that, so we should be good, I would think, to store all 80 whatever of them, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go the tractor and wrapper over there in the other field. Just gonna drop the wrapper, hook them up to the truck, and I'm gonna take this thing back over to Escobar's. Real quick too, I thought I'd show this. I just parked the tractor over there in the little field we got. This is TJ's rake. I think, if I heard him right, I think someone just straight up gave him this. It's a Tenuti, some no-name brand, but GR350 rotary rake. Thing works awesome. When we had the two other fields that we cut last week that got rained on, our tedder had broken down, so we actually tried to fluff the hay up with this. It kind of worked when we had the canopy up. It kind of worked, but this thing works friggin' awesome. And I also don't know if we ever showed this off. Picked this up at McFadden's auction in New York a couple years ago. It's a Kloss variant 260 rotocut. Wicked nice baler. It's in really good shape. It'll do 4x4 bales and 4x5s. We're doing 4x4s right now. The adjustment, the tensioner roller. If I can climb up here. Oh, I don't think I can because this is all buttoned up. There's a tensioner roller right in here that, is it right there? Yeah, right in here. It keeps tension on the belt, and then I believe it's hydraulically activated. As the bale gets bigger, it'll back off to allow for the belts to expand out for the bale. That tensioner roller, the bearings in it went. So we had to pull that bearing out, or the roller out last week. We got new bearings from Kloss, and we had it up and going in the field, but that kind of screwed us because it was literally the first bale we made out of the 2 fields over there that we didn't bale this time around. We had everything cut, we went to go bale, and it kept smoking the belts. Couldn't figure out why, and it was that roller, which doesn't really make sense because it had no issues last year. It got kept inside in the shop all winter. He tested everything out the week before we brought it down here, and everything rolled fine, and as soon as you put a load on it, I guess, it locked the bearings up. So, go figure. But she's up and going now, does a real good job. The only issue we had with it was, like you can see here, as I mentioned a million times already, this tall grass that the mower couldn't cut down for whatever reason. The pickup was trying to rip that out of the ground, basically, and then it just kept clogging up in the head. Even with the head all the way raised up, it was still doing it. So, but she does a good job. We ran Escobars. They have a Kloss. It's a Rotocut 250. I forgot what the actual model is though. But it's a Kloss 250, and we were kind of looking. When we were looking to buy a baler, we were kind of looking at anything, but that came up at the auction, and we're like, man, that's probably the way to go. And it's been solid by us so far. It is basically the European John Deere though, as far as parts go, because holy hell, like, parts for that are a lot more expensive than, you know, Heston or Massey or anything like that, New Holland. But that's how she goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.